It's time. Time to get inspired and empowered. To realize it's never too late to create your next amazing story. Get ready to break through, transform, and start living the life of your dreams. So, are you ready? Truly ready to begin your journey to create your next amazing story in life and love? Great. Let's jump in with your host, Life and Love Transformational Coach, Suzanne Oshima.
Welcome, everybody, to the It's Never Too Late show. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a life and love transformational coach at Your Next Amazing Story. Today, we have a very special guest, Jessie Golden, and she's the founder of The Golden Secrets. And today, we're talking about it's never too late to overcome major challenges in life and find love again. So welcome, Jessie. I am so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to connect.
I know. And, Jessie, what my audience doesn't know is I met Jessie about 2 years ago at this amazing event in the LA mountains. And, when you look at Jessie, she's obviously very beautiful. And I think it's a misconception that people can look at Jessie and think, oh, her life is so easy. And when she told her story at this event, it was funny because I was like, oh my goodness, her story, she's overcome major challenges, and you would never think that looking at her. And so it's funny, back then, I always made a mental note that I wanted to interview her. And then this opportunity came up because she kind of put it out to the universe. And I said, this is the right time. So Jessie, can you tell us your life story and how it always hasn't been easy for you?
Yeah, I mean, the story that I told you guys at that event was I was teaching a yoga class, and I really love telling this story, especially before I teach a yoga class where there's all different levels, and people might feel like they can't practice yoga because they're not that flexible. And it kind of just breaks the barrier and breaks the wall down. Kind of what you were saying is we all get judged on the way that we look. And as a yoga teacher, people see me as being mobile, and they don't realize that that at one point I didn't walk. And that's my story. Is I was a ballerina, I was a yoga teacher, I was what I considered the epitome of health. I gave birth at home naturally. I was vegetarian. I was kind of doing all the things. And I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and it came on really quick and progressed really rapidly to the point where I didn't walk for almost a year of my life. And I ended up writing a book about it because my whole experience completely changed the trajectory of my entire life. I became a holistic health practitioner. I became a guinea pig in trying every single thing to heal myself, whether it was Western or Eastern medicine. And the biggest thing for me was I had a choice whether I was going to look at this dis-ease as a curse or a blessing. And I chose to look at it as a blessing and tried to and I still continue to learn everything that it is here to teach me. And it's a constant humbling lesson to learn. And so, yeah, that's kind of my story in a nutshell.
So now, can you share with the ladies, because I know when you shared that you couldn't walk at one point, you were actually bedridden for a while, right?
Yeah, so I did what my doctors told me originally. Western medicine believes that when you treat it really aggressively in the beginning, you have more of a chance to go into remission. So there's no cure, so to speak. So I did what they said, which was basically methotrexate, which is a form of chemotherapy, TNF blockers, which kill the immune system, because it's basically like your body is overstimulated and attacking healthy cells. That creates the inflammation, not only in the joints, but the organs and the entire system. You feel like you have an infection. You have an infection all the time, a little slight fever. So I did everything Western, and I got all the negative side effects from the drugs that I was taking. to the point where the line was blurred between the disease and the medicine side effects. So I basically spent my life savings and tried everything natural. But during that process, I went through something called a healing crisis, where you get really bad before you get better. And what I dedicated 100% of my life to was something called macrobiotics. And I had a macrobiotic healing coach, and it takes your body about 90 days to go from acid to alkaline. And during that time, I completely lost all mobility. I continued the diet on for well over a year, to the point where my family finally did an intervention, and they said, okay, I think it's time for you to go back to the Western doctor just to make sure you're not like damaging yourself. And sure enough, by the time I went back to the rheumatologist, I had inflammation of my heart, my lungs, my eyes. So during that time, I think it was the biggest lesson that the universe had ever given me, because of my background as a ballerina. I had used my body my entire life to get through everything, to transmute everything. It was my form of communication, and I lost it. And it was the only way that I think I was going to really tune in and figure out what was causing all of this. And it's still my lesson, because I'm used to being a person that just goes and pushes through things and ignore my body's signals. But when you're bedridden, you have no choice but to listen.
Right. So how did you actually get back up because now you're totally mobile, right? But do you still have pain?
I do. And I'm sorry, my dog is like trying to steal the show back here, Bodhi. I do. So I'm such an interesting case. I don't know how else to explain it. I've had tons of doctors and healers, and I do have the RA factor. I don't have any active signs of inflammation, but I do have active signs of damage just from having rheumatoid arthritis for 12 years.
Yeah.
So when I originally put myself into remission, it was a combination of all the work that I did through Eastern medicine, but I did end up having to go back to Western medicine for a short time. And then I was able to kind of wean myself off of that. And I was in remission for a good couple of years. And it's been 12 years. So I've kind of gone back and forth, having good days and bad days, and good years and bad years. But I think the biggest lesson, something that struck me in the beginning when you said that people see the way that I look, they think that if they think I'm beautiful, they think that I have it all, or that I don't have challenges. And I think more than the way that I look is I choose to have a positive outlook and be positive and have gratitude despite my challenges. And I think that's what gives people the false idea that everything in my life is perfect, more than the way that I look.
Yeah, that's so true. So, and I know at some point during this, you started your own business, right? As a single mom?
It's like, let's just start a whole new business. Let's just put more pressure on you. I did. I say it was an accidental business because I started sharing my golden secrets, is what I called it, on a blog. Actually, because people started reaching out to me, asking me how I was able to put rheumatoid arthritis into remission. And I was getting all these emails. This was, 12 years ago, where there was no Facebook. I think there was just MySpace. And these messages would keep me up at night. I really felt like I had to help these people because there wasn't much out there at the time. No YouTube videos. There was nothing about rheumatoid arthritis. And if there was, it was elderly people that were crippled, and I was not the face of RA. So I felt obligated to share. So I started a blog called The Golden Secrets. And I wrote for years, and I just shared diet and health and wellness. And eventually that transitioned into beauty and skincare, and people wanted to know what I was using on my skin. And little did they know that I was making my own products since high school. And for years, people would ask me, especially this one scent that I would wear, what I was wearing and where they could get it. And I really didn't want to share it. It was literally my golden secret. I was like, I don't want to share it. And a friend of mine who I really admire, who's a businessman, he said, honey, you should bottle that stuff and put it on your website. Like, you already have the traffic, you already have the loyal fans. And I thought it was the dumbest idea. And then I kind of sat with it for a minute, and I realized that these products were a part of my healing, and the sacred ritual that was attached to me doing my skincare products was all about retraining my brain for the positive. I was using those moments of washing my face, applying body oil to check in with myself, look at my body, see if there's any changes, give my body what it needs, listen, and maybe say something positive to myself, because that was really part of my healing. As a ballerina, I realized I had a really negative inner critic inside of my head that was constantly judging. And I still practice that daily to kind of rewire the brain. So that's kind of how the whole skincare thing launched, and everyone loved it. And now I'm a business owner.
Aw, that's so awesome. But you did this, I know you shared before that you did this as a single mom, raising your son, right? And again, I think people would look at you and go, oh, she has it easy in finding love. So can you share with us your love story?
Yeah. The love story was a rocky road. I said for a long time, I figured out a lot of things in my life, but I was kind of a late bloomer for understanding how love worked. I kind of had the anthem of I'm a strong, independent woman and I don't need nobody attitude for a long time. And I realized that by having that attitude, I was attracting a certain type of man. And I was kind of wearing the masculine pants, and I wasn't open to receive, and all of these things. And so I did a lot of healing and a lot of self-love and reflection right before I met my husband. And I got to a point where I thought, I'm okay being alone. I don't want to be alone, but I'm okay being alone. And if I get to choose my partner, this is who I want him to be. And I literally wrote him out. And then I wrote it out on a paper and I put it in a sacred place. And then I lived my life at the highest potential, because I knew that whoever was going to come into my life was going to match my vibration. And sure enough, I met him, and it was literally love at first sight. We met at a music festival, and he just walked right up to me. We had a great connection. And then like the following week, we went on our first date, and that was it. It was very quick and very real. And I never knew until this relationship that when it's the right one, you don't question anything.
Yeah, that is so true.
I thought like I had to compromise everything in myself, and I grew up with the generation where my mom was reading women are from Mars and men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and like relationships are all about compromise. And, it was very like negative attitude towards relationships. But I realize now that when you find the one, it is actually fluid and easy.
Imagine that.
It's possible.
And you guys recently got married, right?
We did. Yeah, we did the whole, he was going to propose, and then this whole, COVID thing happened. And I think he had plans on doing something like really magnificent. And then an opportunity opened up where we went to the Sequoias, and he proposed. And then a week later, we're like, let's just do it. But like, we know we're going to get married. Like, let's just do it. And we'll have a party when we're able to have a party, because you can't really plan a wedding right now anyways, because in the state of the world. So we'll have a great party at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know. COVID-19 has made everyone have kind of a reality check, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I love this story. I know the other ladies in my audience love this story. I'm laughing because your
I
dog
know.
is
He's
in
like,
the
come here, buddy.
Um, but so what would you say, Jesse, to the woman that says, "Oh, Jesse, that's great for you, but it's too late for me." What would you say to her?
Oh, it's never too late. It is never too late. And I thought, I had this idea that, my gosh, my dog. When I was in my 20s, I was going to find the love of my life and have 10 children and 10 dogs. And
Mhm.
that wasn't the way that my life planned out. But you know what? It's way better than I ever thought I imagined. And I don't think it's, I think if you give up on the idea of love, then you're totally blocking the idea and the opportunity for it to come into your life, you
Yeah,
know?
I agree. I totally agree. So this has been amazing. So Jesse, can you tell, well, can the ladies find your products?
TheGoldenSecrets.com
Okay.
is
And show us a couple of your products
I'll
and
show
tell us
you
what they are.
my two bestsellers. Bodhi wants to show you too. This is the Aura Clearing Mist or Youth Beauty Face Oil. Bodhi, get out of here. And this is a face oil, an organic. It's made with 10 plant botanicals, and it's the most incredible thing on the planet. Like, it gives you an instant glow, but the results are cumulative. So the more you use it, the more youthful your skin looks, the more hydrated and glowing. And then the Heal All oil you can use for your face, body, even hair as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell people, if I was on a desert island, I could only bring one product, it would be this, because any problem you could imagine, this literally solves it. From acne to anti-aging to burns to stretch marks. It's incredible. I call it the holy grail of all oils.
Yeah, I have to tell you. So, full disclosure, I use both of those products by Jessie, and they are awesome. The first one that she shared, it has this orange color, and
Yeah.
it gives you a glow, and I love it. I actually bought it for the first time the end of last year,
Oh,
and
I love that.
yeah, and I was using it, and then I moved out to Newport Beach from New York, and I ran out, and I was so busy. I was like, "Oh, I'll get it sometime." And then I started to notice a difference in my skin, and so then the next time I ordered, I was like, "Okay, now my skin's feeling good." But this time, I actually added in the Heal All oil, and I have to tell you a story. The first time I used it, because I have very dry skin, the
Yeah.
first time I used it overnight. I woke up the next morning, I looked in the mirror, and I noticed my skin just looked completely different in just 1 year. And now I use it morning and night, both those oils, and I love it. Ladies, if you have
Oh, I
dry
love that.
skin, it's awesome.
Especially here in California. And you know what? I'll tell you what. I have been doing oil cleansing with the Heal All. You should try that. So I just at night, it takes all the makeup off and everything. Just massage it onto your skin, get a warm washcloth, and then just wipe everything off. It's
Awesome.
incredible.
Yeah, I saw you do that on one of your Instagram things, and I was like, I do need to try that. So again, what's your website, Jesse?
TheGoldenSecrets.com.
And where can they also find you on Instagram?
Jessie Golden, Jesse Golden, Golden.
Yeah, ladies, go find her, because not only does she have amazing products, but she shares a lot on Instagram that'll make you smile. Like her and Devin will do this little dance too. I don't want to know, for Fleetwood Mac. And a day that I was having a bad day, they were doing that dance, and it made me smile. It actually made my day. And she has no idea that she did. So thanks everybody for joining us on the It's Never Too Late show. My show is available both in video and podcast format, which can be found at yournextamazingstory.com. And if you would like to get my free video series, Secrets About Men After 40 and Beyond, You can click right here on the video, or you can go to yournextamazingstory.com.
Love today's episode of the It's Never Too Late show? Then head on over to yournextamazingstory.com to continue the conversation, get access to show notes, and get more amazing content.